All of this raises the stakes very high for this debate because it may be the only debate, maybe the only shot that Trump has.
The debate will be a huge moment for Kamala Harris and America as she articulates her positions and shows the world that she's smart, tough, caring, and most importantly, not this guy.
And she wrote the most beautiful story you've ever seen. It was a love story about Melania and myself, a love story in People magazine. And that was it. It was a cover, I think. But it was a beautiful story. Everybody would love to have that marriage. She said the nicest things about me, about Melania. You have the story. I mean, you can read the story.
You think that the stakes are higher for Trump? He has a harder job?
I think he does because she has miraculously grabbed the label of the candidate of change. I mean, we had a situation before July 21st when it was Biden versus Trump, where Trump was the candidate of change. But now with Harris on the field, miraculously, she somehow has been able to sort of dissolve the bonds that tied her to her superior, the president, and is now seen as the new different face, maybe because she's younger and she's not as well known and hasn't worn out her welcome with the American people yet.
While Karl Rove has said for quite a while that Trump is in trouble, he still doesn't understand on a fundamental level what people want in a leader. I mean, he knows what Republicans want, corporate quid pro quo. You know, you lower taxes for Fortune 1000 companies, they donate to your campaign, and then they give you a seven-figure job when you leave. That's a Republican playbook. But Harris is a different person. She's prosecuted those who bribe, steal, rob, rape, and murder.
We have a new category of crime.
Or wait a second, was that Trump's first cabinet? That's a good one! Harris is campaigning on not raising taxes for people making less than $400,000 a year. And she's going after billionaires. Why wouldn't people be for that? Do you think anyone here knows somebody that makes $400,000 a year, much less a billionaire? Trump can't talk economics because his syphilitic brain is in full retreat, and all he can say is crazy shit like this.
So when I return to the White House, we will stop the plunder, rape, slaughter, and destruction of our American suburbs, our cities and towns. And I think that women living in the suburbs, I keep hearing about the suburban woman doesn't like Trump. Well, I think it's a fake poll, because why would they like me?
This is something that MAGA should know. Harris is more conservative than Trump. She will appoint at least one Republican to her cabinet. She'll stand up to Putin and support our NATO allies, and she'll fix the border the only way it can be fixed, with manpower, technology, and diplomacy. Because it wasn't Harris that spiked the only bipartisan bill that ended catch and release, detained asylum seekers until their cases were adjudicated, and shut down the border when encounters exceeded 5,000 people. Trump killed that bill because he wanted to campaign on immigration.
Why were you against the House, against the Senate border deal, the bipartisan border?
It made it much better for the opposing side.
As far as immigration goes, all Donnie Diapers did was talk about building a wall with this perv, who later went to jail for stealing money from MAGA idiots who sent millions to Trump and Bannon only to have their money ripped off.
Former Trump senior advisor Steve Bannon is in federal custody tonight, facing charges in an alleged fundraising scheme in support of the president's border wall.
I think the debate depends on two things. One is Trump's ability to highlight her views, because on the big issues, economy, inflation, border security, America's role in the world, status in the world, he's got the advantage.
This is so tiring, having to explain macroeconomics again and again to people who should know. One more time, and Maggie, if you're listening, I'll try and talk slow. Trump's economy in no way whatsoever was better than Clinton, Obama's, or Biden, by any metric available to measure them. Joe Biden had 3 quarters where his GDP exceeded 4%. Trump's GDP never exceeded 3%. That's a 25% difference. And inflation? Come on, Karl, you know this. I know you do. Inflation happened all over the world because for a year, the world stopped making things. When we flooded trillions back into the economy, demand wildly exceeded supply. That's how prices go up all over the world. And when prices started to drop, many corporations refused to lower their prices. They gouged. But Trump wants to put a tariff on Chinese goods and deport 11 million workers. That is the perfect recipe for more inflation. But he's too goddamn stupid to understand any of it.
What does happen when you put tariffs on goods and you stop immigration and force migrants to leave in terms of wages?
Unless you're Hamilton, I'm kind of against it.
Isn't that going to be inflationary?
Of course. course.
Is it a one-time, though, and then you
smooth
sort of
quality?
even out?
I don't know. I mean, when you see tariffs like that, obviously you think about 1929.
The debate will feature one person who was smart and experienced, and one person who is a malignant sociopath, cognitively declining like Bill Barr on a Zipline.
Give us that again. Can you do that again? And you go person, woman, man, camera, TV.
Trump is afraid, and those who support Trump are equally worried.
And I'm looking at a woman and I grab her and I start kissing her and making out with her. What are the chances of that happening?
You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy.
What are the chances? And frankly, I know you're going to say it's a terrible thing to say, but it couldn't have happened. It didn't happen. And she would not have been the chosen one.
The debate will be more difficult for Trump, but everything is more difficult for Trump. From his 6 bankruptcies, to his $500 million in fines for fraud, defamation, and rape, to his 34 felony convictions, to his rapidly disappearing support in the GOP, all Trump can do is smear, defame, lie, and then lie some more. Yes, Trump will bring up inflation, but Harris should just say, who still owes PPP money, and why won't they give it back? Like Matt Gaetz or Dairy Queen, whose loans were forgiven by Trump. Harris should ask why, when inflation started to subside, corporate profits reached a record high in the fourth quarter of 2023. Why? Because corporations have enough monopoly power to keep prices high. And by the way, many corporations are also shrinking the size of the products you're buying without lowering prices, which is a variant of the same thing. This is one of the biggest reasons why the American public is not crediting Biden with a great economy. Most people still aren't feeling it. In 2023, Pepsi CFO said that even though inflation was dropping, their prices would not. That's right. Pepsi hiked its prices by double digits and announced plans to keep them high in 2024. And surprise, surprise, Coke did the same thing, hiking their prices the same time Pepsi did. The CEO of Coca-Cola actually said this, that we've earned the right to push our prices higher because our sodas are popular. Popular? And it's the same pattern with groceries. At the end of 2023, Americans were paying at least 30% more for beef, pork, and poultry products than they were in 2020. Why? 4 companies control processing of 80% of the beef, 70% of the pork, and 60% of poultry. So, of course, it's easy for them to coordinate price increases. This debate will feature but one candidate with the ability to lead through strength, courage, critical thinking, and empathy.
We are not going back.
She retains a slight edge in both national and battleground state polling. Our latest poll with Ipsos shows Harris up 52-46 among likely voters.
And Kamala Harris has a long list of Republican support as well. Mike Pence, former Secretary of Defense Esper, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff General Milley, General Mattis, Congressman Joe Walsh and Adam Kinzinger, and Liz and Dick Cheney. And the other candidate? Come on. Is there really a choice?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Damn right.
This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
Trust me.
Shut the fuck up, Dan.
Who's with me?
Oh, yeah, the lie.
Indictable.
Out of sheer morbid curiosity, I'm allowing this freak show to continue.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong?
Yes.
Tick-tock!
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.